started.
So in game 3 right now, the map actually, looking very resourcey than compared to the
Wow.
other maps. A lot of silicon,
But
aluminum,
no
water.
carbon or
Oh,
iron
carbon.
yet. What do you do when you can't find your base resources? Okay, Cubit finds
Alright.
carbon. He immediately throws down into that. He got a great found, I think, and that's going to work very well for him this game.
This is this is a better scavenger map than both of the last maps combined. So indecision, I think he's searching for that iron, searching for that
He
place
found
to
the
drop
iron
down.
triangle.
Ooh, he might as well go scientific again. But I'd like to see expansive right now. I'd love to see this because there's enough of everything to go expansive.
Really. I'm not too surprised by this scientific found. The fact that it is scientific. What I am surprised by is its positioning. I feel like if you're going to found away from your primary resource, like Indecision has done here, he has not secured his steel production next to his base. He is vulnerable to pirates. Why don't you found near everything else? He's got aluminum right next to him, but what about the water? What about the silicon? All those important resources in the mid game that he's going to have a harder time getting to. I suppose he does have a silicon triangle nearby, but still, a bit poor access to water. We'll have to see if that pays off. And he's just going to have to pray that virtual reality comes up as that day zero auction 3 games in a row.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, indecision. I'm not. Yeah, as you said, I'm not quite sure. Uh, if he's maybe just rushed this because he saw Cubit. Oh wow, he's already level 2. We need to place down now. And I don't know. I think he kind of rushed this a little bit too much. Cubit right now actually finding his spot, knowing what he wants. But yeah, indecision. As I said, he has that this negative of this steel not being ejected to his base, and also water so far away, and not much silicon on his base.
Yeah, it is worth noting, no pirate auction on day zero. That's very good news for Indecision. That is exactly what he needed, was no pirate auction. He's going to let the auction claim go over to Cubit for 20,000. That's a
Actually, quite
reasonable
high.
amount, I
That
think.
is quite
It is
high.
high. It is high, but it's a 1v1 game. On top of that, Cubit was potentially going to be behind a claim by the time Indecision got to level 2. Now Cubit's actually going to be ahead a claim, I believe, assuming he is the one who got the black market purchase. I'm going to check up on that real quick. No, actually Indecision with
Yeah.
the black market purchase. So Indecision may be seeing that, saying, okay, you can have your 20,000 debt. I'll just pay the 4,000 cold hard cash I need to pull in the claim, and we'll go from there.
Your new design for the colony layout is simply
Yeah, so
breathtaking.
right now, Indecision getting his steel triangle going, definitely, making the most efficient steel there is right now on the map. Cubit, getting that silicon, as we see out of him every game. He can actually, upgrade to level 3 right now, so he's, definitely far ahead. Indecision just, upgraded not too long ago. Still
He's
quite a,
flying through things.
yeah, Cubit right now, with this carbon production that is finally called real carbon production for Scavenger, actually upgrades to level 3. What do you think? Are we going to see reactors right now?
I think we're almost certainly going to see reactors right now. They're the very standard safe play. He's already got a geotherm secured. Might want to grab a little more power for himself in preparation for these reactors, but certainly doesn't have to. He's got the high silicon. He's got the high water. He is well positioned to keep moving through these things later. And the only thing he doesn't have that his opponent does is this glass that Indecision has chosen to go for. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Reactor is exceptionally standard. They just make so many resources compared to the other production buildings that it's really hard to pass up on them.
Yep. What do you think? Cubit his last claim. Do you think he maybe should go into that second geothermal just because he can?
He could move into the second geothermal. I think a big thing to note at this point is I don't see power for Indecision. And maybe taking the geothermal potential away would be a good move. Just kind of try and force Indecision's debt on up, but then he could just take it and then not sell and then short power after a while. Indecision, though, he's going to secure it away first. He's got a claim flag headed that direction, and he'll be okay.
No, there's actually a third geothermal next to Cubit. So.
Oh, I know. But
Okay,
that's
okay.
so far away. It's so far away from Indecision that I don't know if that's the one I would take, because I would rather deny him the other geotherm and the close geotherms
Yeah.
than take the close one for myself, especially considering I'm scavenger. I can use the black market very effectively. Wow.
Wow, 24,000
That's an
for a claim.
expensive claim.
Right. This
That's an
is
expensive claim.
commitment right now from Indecision.
I think we're going to see that on the glass furnaces. I think
Yeah.
that would be the reasonable place for it to go.
I'd hope, yeah. But also Cubit, actually, you know, with that last claim that he had, he actually built one glass furnace. So he's going to probably also move, you know, one or two more claims in the glass. And right now, nobody's really building food. So that's probably going to be shorted in, you know, maybe around day 2 on the end. So it's, yeah, that's going to go.
Yeah, food's going to start getting expensive before too terribly long.
Ooh, that
On
dynamite.
glass furnace. That's interesting. That is $4,000. Is that going to be worth it? Rebuilding that isn't too expensive. It's just a very small amount of steel and silicon, and it's not too far away. It didn't shut production down for too terribly long, so that's a bit of a risky move. Now, yeah, and Cubit had to be the one to buy that. It wasn't just a bounced dynamite off a goon squad at all. So that was a very particular, decisive play. Oh, look, carbon shortage.
Ooh.
There goes the game.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I don't know what to say about it besides, all right, well, Cubit got a nice influx of cash that Indecision couldn't do anything about.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
maybe that shouldn't
unfortunate.
happen. Just a thought. But
Yeah, but, well, with that dynamite play, I think, you know, it would have been better if you would have chucked that onto the Geo of Indecision.
yeah, I could have waited and then just put it on the geotherm. Geotherms cost a massive number of resources, so blowing those up is fantastic. I think it was just a bit of a hasty play from Cubit, but at this point, I don't think it's going to matter. He's got better glass production. He's got into the reactors that Indecision is in. The only thing he's missing out on is steel, which is valuable, but Indecision's not going to do anything with it for quite some time. So I don't know. Is this a a silicon quarry coming down for Cubit here?
Oh, no,
Or is
a
it
hacker ray.
Okay. I thought it might be a hacker array because that's what I would expect to see out of Cubit at this stage of the game.
also-
He's also throwing down another Geo.
Yeah, and yeah, Indecision right now, you know, wanted to save up that steel, wanted to upgrade. You know, still behind in claims. Actually going for food now. As the only player doing that right now. But yeah,
Hacker array going into a carbon shortage.
yeah, that's yeah,
The obvious play at this point.
yeah.
I mean,
We definitely
carbon
expected
shortage
that
already
of.
occurred.
Yeah, we definitely expected that of Cubit.
No big surprise.
So right now, this claim auction, what do you think? What price range is it gonna go out on? Because right now, every claim auction that happened was over 20,000. Like right now, Cubit again, 20,000.
Yep, that seems about standard. I don't think Indecision is in a comfortable position to move toward them or toward that auction at 24,000, and so Cubit's just going to take it for 20. Not
Both
too big of a
players
surprise.
actually having a similar debt, so that's also to note that Cubit right now with his claim advantage actually having that higher stock price, but still dropping quite a bit. Again, that dynamite on that
Well,
glass
something to
furnace.
consider with these is definitely going to be how much glass is Indecision losing in this process. Well, and there's a silicon short naturally. That's also just going to play potentially into Cubit's hands. He is the one with silicon income. He's sitting on 700 silicon to Indecision 10 right now. This game is probably going to be over before too terribly long. Indecision going ahead and mutinying away. The hacker ray trying to force out a steel short, but yeah, Cubit's not going to let that stand. And he takes it right back for himself.
Ooh, that silicon. But do you think blowing up a glass furnace is really worth 6,000 off of black
I
market?
think it is if there is a lot of glass sitting there. Now, as observers, we can't know how much glass is actually sitting in these buildings, but my understanding is, and this is a bit awkward for me, not getting to know how much glass is actually sitting here. I don't think any of that glass escapes. It all gets destroyed in the process. And so it's a large supply of resources removed from Indecision. And that could make it the good move, not just blowing up the building, but also blowing up all the resources attached. We're seeing another carbon short come in. That should wrap things up fairly quickly. We'll see what Cubit's sitting on after he sells out of this, but I imagine it's going to be enough to wrap up this game. We can see he's just selling out of stuff bit by bit to make sure he can keep up his stock buying as this short happens. And as soon as it finishes, he should have plenty to overwhelm.
Yeah.
95,000, more than enough.
GG.
That's going to be the bronze medal over to Cubit.
Yeah, definitely, definitely deserved. Played very
for
well.
sure. Played well. The natural silicon and carbon shorts, definitely not hurting.
Yep.
Never going to hurt. I think that was probably a bit of a negative influence on this game. Indecision might have had a chance to come back into it, but there's no way to recover. No way to recover when shorts naturally go into your opponent's favor and their scavenger on top of it. It's just, when you're already behind at that point, there's just not much you can do.
Yeah, it kind of hurts. Yeah, right now, actually, Cubit, he didn't make food all game long. He sold 27,000 in power. I think that makes up for the 20,000 he automatically bought in life support. So that kind of balances out quite nicely. Definitely selling that carbon in the end, making 160,000.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, the most important resource on this whole chart for either player is if we look at Indecision, he sold less than 6,000 in glass that game.
Yeah, and Cubit with that 40,000 sold in glass, that's, yeah.
That is a big, big deal.
And Indecision actually going sooner into glass and actually producing more glass early on than Cubit. So
Yep.
that's definitely notable to say.
I think we can see those dynamites definitely paying off at the end of the day. We were questioning them, but I think they worked out. Just not allowing Indecision to ever sell that glass he was making that whole time was a big deal. And it definitely worked out very well.
And
Indecision saying he used the glass probably for farms, but 6,000 when you've been making glass that long, that's still, like, purchasing more glass than you sold at that point is not good when you've committed to 3 glass furnaces during the course of a game.
and actually also the black market, both players use the black market quite a bit with Indecision 5 items and Cubit 6 items.
Yeah. Definitely good use of the black market that game, I think. Not so much underground nuking. There were not good tiles to be underground nuking, but we did see an attempted mutiny by Indecision get countered by Cubit. We saw the very standard Goon Squad plays, and just some new claims, and one EMP being bought up to on Indecision's side, and then the couple of dynamites that were actually, I think, pretty important out of Cubit. So,
Yep.
decent black market play, definitely not an overcommittal from either player.
Yep, nice series. Congratulations to Cubit, and also getting 4th in a 32-player bracket where a lot of good players were in this. Indecision. That's also quite notable to even get into the semifinals. So also congratulations to him.
Oh yeah, a 4th place finish is definitely also very, very, very good.
All right, so this was the very first. Oh,
Excuse me.
bless you. This was the very first tournament of Off-Road Trading Company. So I, really hope to see more out of this. There is actually a tournament getting scheduled in May that I heard of.
That's
so,
what I heard too.
Definitely. Ooh, it would kind of be nice if the community would actually make something in April. Maybe having a tournament each month. Because this took what, 2 weeks now, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that would, maybe a tournament every month would be nice. Definitely a community thing.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes going into the future. Maybe mix it up a little bit, try out some different stuff from the 1v1. We'll just see what we can put together. But for now, this definitely went very, very well, I think.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's going to go